The boy.
Henry?
I keep thinking his name was David.
David Henry, what have you gone and done?
I have not gone and done anything, Mother. I've gone and not done something, which very much needed the not doing.
Oh, good heavens! Louisa, David Henry has gone and not done something again.
Henry David!
David Henry, you're being strange again.
He was strange. I almost understood him.
Sometimes, I don't know who you are.
I myself, Mother. If I'm not, who will be?
When you are baptized, they tell you who you are.
I wasn't listening.
At the christening, you didn't cry once. Not once. Reverend Ripley said how remarkable it was for a baby not to cry at a christening.
Do you think I knew what they were trying to do to me?
I suppose not.
That's why I didn't cry.
He was the saddest, happy man I knew.
The happiest sad man, I think.
He worked on Sundays and took the rest of the week off. Who's this?
It's your pain, dear.
Yes? Yes.
I wouldn't mind your being Julie, but do you have to work at it so hard, David Henry?
Henry David!
Getting everything backward. How did you learn your letters?
Well, must the alphabet begin with A? Why not Z? Z is a very sociable letter, like the path of a man wandering through the woods. A is braced and solid. A is a house. I prefer Z. Z-Y-X-W-V-U-T-S.
Oh, dear.
Or mix them up. Start with H or start with Q.
Cast conformity behind you.
Cast. Conformity behind you.
Do you know what David Henry's trouble is, John?
What?
He keeps casting conformity behind him.
What the hell? He's been to Harvard.
Never say.
Harvard? I'm sorry, Mother. I'll never say it again.
Oh,
Now here's a rare specimen.
There is an infinitude in the private man. If a single man plants himself indomitably on his instincts, and thereby, then the huge world will come round to him.
And there abide.
Is this one wild or tame? Wild, I think, known to haunt the woods and ponds. Though plumage for the wise bird, Americanus something or other. I have it. It is the species brother. John! How's that overstuffed brain of yours?
I've forgotten everything already.
At least you've got a diploma.
No, I don't.
Why not?
They charge you $1. I wouldn't pay it.
But think how Mom would love it. Your diploma from Harvard, framed on the wall.
Let every sheep keep his own skin.
But it's evidence that you mastered all the branches of knowledge.
All of the branches, but none of the roots. John, I learned more from one man, not even a professor, than I did in 4 years of academic droning and snorting down at Cambridge. The strangest thing is, he wasn't a stranger. I knew him, and I'd seen him. You know him. You walk by him on the street. You say hello. He's just a friend. But this man speaks, and a hush falls all over Harvard. And there's a light about him that comes out of his face. And it's not just the light of one man, John. I swear to you, it's the light of all mankind.
Idolater.
Wait, is this the earth?
I hope so.
No. It is you, and me, and God, and Mr. Emerson, and the universal mind.
And Aunt Louisa?
Yes, Aunt Louisa too. False teeth and all. Strange to think of Aunt Louisa swimming in
I'm sure of it.
And if she can't keep afloat,
You can dive in sight.
Now that you threw your backside on Harvard, what do you plan to do?
well, I think that I'll think for a while.
That will be a change from college.
But what do you want to be? Do you have any idea?
I know exactly. I want to be as much as possible like Ralph Waldo Emerson. My friend. Huh? Why, every human being has the inalienable right to snore, provided that it does not interfere with the inalienable right of other men to snore. Oh, I couldn't hear what was going on.
Hey, nothing goes on in here. I have the time, the day, the night again. Don't make much difference.
Do you hear that?
I didn't hear nothing, just a bird.
Just a bird. Can you make a cry like that? Or feed on flowers, or carry the sky on your wings? My friend, you and I can't even fly.
I'm just part of that. Guess I'm not fully awake.
Nobody is.
If I ever met a man who's completely awake, how can I look through your face?
What'd you do to get yourself locked up?
What do you think I did?
Well, a man who talks educated like you can't have done nothing small. Maybe murder. Or worse.
That's what I've done. By their lights, out there in the dark. Murder. Or worse. No, I could not commit murder. That's why I'm in here.
Well, who they want you to kill?
Mexico.
Who's that?
That's where the war is.
What war?
Friend, this cell might be the only place in the whole country that's at peace.
Well, who's fighting who?
I'm not fighting anyone.
Neither am I.
But we have a president who went and threw up a war all by himself. With no help from Congress. Less help from me.
First time I hear of it. Which side are you on anyways? Are you against them, or are you one of them?
I'm one of me.
That don't make no sense.
Do you hear that? It's an old friend of mine. Doesn't have to see where he's going. Or maybe he can see what we can't. He's headed to the pond. Did you ever make friends with Balloon?
Until tonight.
Just remember, any time you hear a man called Looney, that's a great compliment to the man, but a great disrespect to the loon. A loon doesn't wage war. His government is perfect, being non-existent. He is the world's best fisherman and completely in control of his senses. Think. Now, what did you do?
Nothing.
What do they say you did?
Burned down a barn.
But I didn't do it.
I snuck in to get some sleep and some sparks from my pipe fell in the hay.
Then tell him that.
The town time for the trial. That's what I've been waiting here for 3 months.
I wonder if they'll keep me in here for 3 months. Waiting trial? Who will weigh my bean patch? Of course. Might get some brain work done.
I feel it's good to talk to a smart fella. I bet you can even ride.
Sometimes.
I wish I was a rider. If I could write my name,
Oh, wait!
I'd die happy.
You would do better than most writers. Bailey's? Not a hard name.
I know the start of it. It's the start of the alphabet backwards.
I'll teach you the rest.
I'll leave this jail an educated man. You must be a teacher.
Being a teacher is a lot like being in jail. Once it's on your record, you can never get rid of it. Students, hold your hand out in front of you like this. Is there anything between my nose and my fingers? Nothing? My young friends, there are millions of tiny dancing particles whizzing back and forth and bouncing off. Stars, worlds, planets, and universes. Right here. And now, I give you a mystery. How do we know that these particles exist?
How indeed?
Ah, we have a surprise guest in the classroom today. The chairman of the school committee, Deacon Nehemiah Ball.
How is it that I see no school textbooks open?
We're using our brains, sir. Young Potter here, he just asked me if I believe there's a God.
Blasphemy! You will flog him!
What?
Flog him!
I will do no such thing. I do not believe in corporal punishment.
You will perform your duty, Schoolmaster Thoreau, if you wish to keep your place in this community. I congratulate you, Mr. Thoreau. I'm happy to announce the school committee as Schoolmaster Thoreau
Has administered the sacrament of the schoolroom and resigns as a teacher in the public schools of Gerald. I shall never teach again.
A school doesn't need a school committee, or trustees, or governors, or alumni, or a brood of textbooks. All the school needs is a mind that sends and minds that receive.
Nobody can teach anybody anything.
Of course not. Teach them to teach themselves.
Our own school, John. No buildings. And break out of the classroom prison. All that we need is Scott. Students, watch, notice, observe, see what's happening around you. Did you ever think so much was going on in Haywood's Meadow? I'll wager Haywood doesn't even know. Most of Concord is too busy running to the post office. What are you doing?
I'm writing
What?
what you've been saying so that I'll remember.
Don't just remember what I'm saying. Remember what I'm talking about. Who is she?
A girl.
Yes. What is she one of ours? Does she belong to? Is she one of our students?
I wouldn't mind with you.
Excuse me, miss. Don't you think you're a little old for our classroom?
Henry, a young lady is never too old.
Annie, that's just it. Most of our students are 12 or thereabouts. And you're not exactly thereabouts.
My little brother is the only one who has the right to ask questions. He's paying tuition.
Your stool.
Please, Mr. Thoreau, go back to your students. I've interrupted.
Of course you have. Every creative event that ever happened was an interruption. Unexpected, unplanned for. Students, we have another stool today in the classroom. Edwin's sister. You have a first name?
Ellen.
Ellen Sue. Our textbook this Sue is Haywood's Meadow, approved by the Almighty, if not by the school committee. You're writing again.
Well, when you go to school, you're supposed to write down what you've been taught so that you'll remember.
But then, it's the notebook that does the remembering, not you.
You keep a notebook.
Yes. But I also wear a ridiculous straw hat. Does that mean that you should wear a ridiculous straw hat? Of course not. You would look ridiculous in it. Miss Sewell, be yourself. Henry,
Don't shout at her.
I won't take any notes, I promise you. Not one.
why not? If you want to take notes, go ahead. But not because I'm doing it or because I told you to. Miss Sewell, I want you to be yourself. Not your idea of what you think is somebody else's idea of yourself. Be very careful. Find and pursue your own way.
Bailey, Bailey, Bailey! I can write. Watch. Watch me do it all by myself.
Don't learn to write your name.
Well, I already learned.
Unlearn it. My friend, give up your literary career. John, today I thought we'd take a complete circuit of the pond. If the boat isn't large enough for the whole class, I'll take the first year, and you can take the second.
It'll be large enough.
We lost another pupil. How many do we actually have left?
It might be a little overpowering to have twice as many teachers as pupils.
Wait, only one left?
Mr. Thoreau,
Oh, good morning.
I just came to tell you that you shouldn't wait up for Edwin. Just go ahead and start the class without him. He won't be coming today.
I hope he's not ill.
Not exactly. It's my father. He's opposed to transcendentalists. That's what he says you are. And your brother, too. A whole family afflicted with transcendentalism.
What the devil does your father think transcendentalism is? Smallpox?
I asked him, and he tried to explain it to me, but the more and more he explained, the less and less I understood. Father has a gift that way.
Ah, a born non-teacher. Miss Sue, get in the boat.
Oh?
Since I find myself unexpectedly unemployed, I shall take you on a voyage of exploration. No tuition charge. Keep your eye on the line in between the water and the sky. I'll row. There used to be a row of cedars on that far shore. But we've lost that link with Lebanon.
Where have they gone?
Into firewood and up in smoke. Into houses. Do you know what we're doing is poisoning paradise, shearing off the woods, and we're balding the earth before her time.
But my father says that God put everything on this planet for men to use.
Your father, do you love the man?
Of course,
Why?
he's my father.
Is he beautiful?
Dear me, no.
Does he create? Can he paint? Play a musical instrument?
No.
Can he fly like that bird? Or swim like that fellow down there?
He can swim a little. At least he used to, but not like that fish.
And nevertheless, love him.
Of course.
Your love transcends what your father is and what he's not. Everything is capable of going beyond itself. Damn it! I'm lost. Put your hand in the water. Can you reach the bottom?
It's too deep.
transcend the limits of yourself. You can cease merely living and begin to be.
I don't mind living.
But being is so much more interesting.
I think I'm afraid just to be.
Why be afraid?
Aren't you ever afraid?
Yes. I'm afraid that I might live through this moment and only live. Look at you and only see you. It doesn't hurt to look at you, believe me. But what if there's war and I miss it?
Miss what?
What if all of it is beautiful and women in the world or worlds? What if all of that is summed up in one face? This face right here. And I am empty enough to believe I'm merely seeing just one face.
That's transcendentalism?
If you like.
I have to go back.
Why?
Father expects me.
Surprising. Stand up to your father.
Please, Mr. Thoreau. Not in the boat. No. Will you row me back to shore, please?
No, listen to me. If I were to say, I love you, Sue, Miss Sue, Ellen, you wouldn't think much of it as a statement of fact. If it was just an echo, a mountain, of something somebody else told me to say, some father. But if I say I love you, out of myself, out of my own experiences, or lack of it, out of my own innocence, well then you and God had better believe.
Mother, Henry's in love.
Oh, who is he in love with?
A girl.
Oh, my God!
Mr. Thoreau, I am neither one of your birds or one of your fish. I must sit here and hope that you are gentleman enough to row me ashore.
I apologize, Miss Sue. I will row you to shore on one condition.
I have to accept it,
Go to church on Sunday.
but you don't go to church.
Ah, of course not. I can't stand having the Sabbath spoiled to me by a sermon.
But you still ask me to church?
With John.
How do you know that your brother would want to take me to church?
Didn't you hear it? The other day in Haywood's Meadow, when he proposed to you.
He barely spoke to me.
That's why you didn't hear it. You missed eloquence of the silence.
Afternoon, Mr. Thoreau. Thank you for making transcendentalism so clear.
Did I?
Oh, David Henry. Why did God and I have to make you so peculiar? And please, dear Lord, if it isn't too much trouble, don't let John get too strange. And perhaps, could you slip the word yes into that young lady's mouth? Amen.
She said yes! Oh, congratulations, John. I'm proud of you. Are you going to do it right away?
She said
yes. Naturally. She didn't say no.
no. She didn't say no.
What the devil did she say?
She said, why doesn't Henry ask me? And I said, if he does, will you say yes? And she said, no. But why doesn't he ask me anyhow?
That's ridiculous. She wants to wear both of our scalps on her petticoat strings.
She won't marry you, and she won't marry me. But she'd marry us in a minute.
And then, that, when we're old men in our 90s, that will be the day when we take the hand of old Dame Ellen.
Unto Almighty God we commend the soul of our brother departed, John Thoreau, and we commit his body to the ground in the sure and certain hope of the resurrection unto eternal life. Let us pray.
David Henry. Pray with me.
I can't pray, Mother. I can't.
How?
Does it? I prayed before, and what good did it do? God has stopped listening. If he ever did listen. I can't pray, Mother. I can't.
Henry, what happened?
He died.
I don't understand.
John. 3 mornings ago, happened to think of something rather funny while he was shaving. He burst out into laughter and he cut himself. A sneak attack from the Almighty. You plagued Job, but you spared him. Why couldn't you have been spared with John?
Henry, maybe God lets us be hurt so that we can learn to transcend pain. I didn't understand in the poem really, but is it possible, Henry, that even though John has stopped living, he still continues to be?
Lydian, we could certainly use a handyman.
Yes, the wall back by the meadow does need mending.
Mr. Thoreau, what sort of work would you like to do?
Anything. I wish to use my hands.
Miss Emerson will assure you that of all God's creatures, I am the least handy of men. My skill in carpentry is not for cutting cheese. What about children, Mr. Thoreau?
What about them?
You've had experience with them.
I was a child once myself. Briefly.
Oh, it would be so good for Edward to have someone who could take him and boating and hiking. Dr. Emerson has very little time for me to follow. He's so occupied with his lectures and writing.
When I'm with your son, I may turn my brain on. Temporarily.
We're going to have you around here. I can't possibly go on calling you Mr. Thoreau. Your mother calls you David, I believe.
I call myself Henry.
My mother called me Ralph. You may call me Waldo. And Lydian is, of course, Lydian. And Edward, where's Edward? Edward!
I think it's very important for you to meet Edward. To be sure you both are companionable.
Why shouldn't they be?
Yes, Father.
Edward, a firm handshake for Mr. Thoreau. You two are going to be extremely good friends.
I don't see why not.
Now, Henry, we must pay you weekly wages.
Must it be money? Could it be, perhaps, one day, if my work has been handy to you, and if we remain good friends, I may ask for a small section of your woods, no bigger than this room, and not as a gift. I do not want to own it, but as an understanding between friends who really believe it belongs to the woodchucks anyhow.
What will you do with it?
Not quite sure. It's more of an idea I have, an experiment.
Can Henry have his parcel of the woods for his experiment?
I'm not sure what kind of experiment it is you have in mind, but if the woodchucks don't object, why should I?
Thank you, Doc. Well,
Not many people will understand that young man. He doesn't want anything.
Perhaps he wants too much.
Henry, I heard you
the government's ever given me. Most practical, anyways.
What? Look here, Henry. You gotta pay your tax for it, yeah.
Do you pay your tax, Sam?
If I didn't, I'd have to arrest myself.
Are you going to arrest me?
I don't want to, Henry, but the government gets persnickety about taxes. We gotta work on it.
I won't pay one copper penny to an unjust government. I wouldn't pay the tithe and the tariff to the church, so I signed off from the church. Well, I'm ready, Sam, to sign off from the government. Right now. Where do I sign? Where?
You can't do that.
Why not?
Well, even a president has to obey laws.
The poor president. What? With preserving his popularity and doing his duty. He doesn't know what to do.
The majority
I'm the majority, Sam. The majority of one. And what law ever made men free? Men have got to make the law free. And if the law is wrong, by heaven, it's the duty of the man to say so. Even if his odd fellow society wants to throw him in jail.
That's revolution.
Yes, sir, it is revolution. What do you think is happening at Concord Bridge? A prayer meeting?
What are you trying to do, Henry? Wipe out all the laws?
As many as possible. It's very simple, Sam. What the government of this country is doing turns my stomach. And if I keep my mouth shut, I'm a criminal. To my conscience, to my God, to society, and to you, Sensei. If you want $1 from me, well, if I don't approve how that dollar is spent, we're not going to get it.
No, I swear, I just can't figure out when she's still on
Have
me.
you heard what they're doing down in Washington?
Well, I don't have much time for newspapers. And I read slow.
Open your ears then. Find out what he's up to. Your hired man in the White House.
It's not just my president, Henry. He's yours, too.
No, sir. I'm not paying his salary. He's fired!
You think high about Henderson, don't you?
Usually.
He's paid his tax.
That's his problem. That does not mean I have to pay mine.
Look, all I know is it ain't fit to throw a Harvard man in jail. Especially at Thoreau. And honestly, even you, Henry, I never knew.
Is that a compliment, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, clap me in your best steel. I'll get it. I've got it. Oh, Lydia, is that message for me?
It's about Henry. He's in jail.
Every night, Louisa, I have this terrible nightmare. I dream that David Henry is in jail. Tonight, I didn't even have to go to sleep.
Henry! Oh. Henry, what are you doing in jail? Waldo, what are you doing out of jail? They think that they have my life. No, only my body. I am a free man. They can't lock up my thoughts. What I believe flows through these walls as if stones were air.
Henry, you have wits enough to know that in order to get along, you have to go along.
Go along. Go along. Go along. You ain't taking no gun on me. You thought this was a rifle. A rifle's no good for holding beans. Do you mind if I go ahead? What can I do for you? I need bills. Give me some bills. Sit down, neighbor. These beans won't come up for another 3 weeks.
Well, I'll be sleeping with the beans. I got to get to Indiana.
To where?
Indiana. You know what I can get. They said the Lord didn't get it, the free didn't get it.
What's your name, friend?
Wait,
I'm Henry Thoreau. Welcome to Walden, Mr. Williams.
I belong to Mr. Williams. I was Mr. Williams, but no more. I bought myself 2 weeks ago.
Good for you.
You gonna turn me in?
Oh, I've got no more stomach for slavery than you do. Here, you're as free as I am.
No man ever gonna make me a slave again.
But watch out. There's slavery in the North, too. Every man shackled to a 10-hour-a-day job is a work slave. Don't let that happen to you, Mr. Williams. Keep free.
I do feel free. Here. Now.
With you in Massachusetts, the color of your face is a flag. You can't hide blackness and blindness. If you want any light in your life, you'll have to find a place where people think of themselves as men, not as white men.
Well, where? Where do I go?
You've got to find your own way, Mr. Williams. Go to Kenyatta. North as you can get. Go! Go to Kenyatta! Go!
I've cast my vote. I put it in the ballot box. What more do you expect me to do? Henry, we have to go along with the majority.
Go along!
Henry, things are infinitely more complicated.
Then simplify. Simplify. When a man at the border of freedom is stopped by the rifle of a Boston police.
Henry, I am just as shocked at the death of this man as you are. What was his name?
Mr. Williams.
What do you expect me to do?
Speak out!
I speak.
It's not enough. Shout!
I am not a shouter.
But nobody listens to me. My God, you are Emerson. Stand up, Waldo, and say what you believe.
Sometimes I think I invented you, Henry. Because you live what I talk about.
Your government. Your government is killing men in Mexico!
You think because I don't rant, I am not outraged. I do what can be done.
Well, it's not enough. Do the impossible.
You are a very difficult man.
Good. The world is too full of easy men. Look around you. We've become everything we protested against.
And what are you doing about it, young man? You pull the woods up over your head. You resign from the human race. Oh, it's very simple for a hermit to just sit off at a distance and proclaim exactly how things should be. But what if everybody did that, Henry? Where would we be?
Where are we, Waldo?
We are at war. I am aware of it. Henry, the end of this war, the condition of the blacks, these are the jobs of the president and the Congress.
Do you really believe that? Then I guess I'm wrong. You're right to keep still. I'll go off into the woods, and I'll leave you at peace with your war.
All right. All right, my young conscience. What shall I do?
Declare yourself.
I will. Absolutely. The next moment the occasion arises, I'll...
Now!
Henry, my husband loves you as much as any man can love another man.
My God. He was my God. No more. If he is a deity, then I am a doubter.
Why do you enjoy hurting him?
He hurts me. Your husband, Miss Emerson, is drowning in his own success.
My husband's best friend doesn't even know who my husband is. You've drawn some ideal in your mind, some imaginary Walden, the way that you want it to be. Please, Henry, please, give him the same liberty he gives you. To be what you are.
the gun!
Wake up!
I don't want it!
The purpose of this action is to stop the enemy from defending themselves from the enemy!
I won't go!
That's a good boy, David Henry. Always do the right thing, even if it's wrong.
Mr. President, the military advise that we take total control of the territory. Level them all to rubble. Are you prepared to go along?
Go along, go along.
Is this man saying something? I can't hear him.
Mr. President, what are your instructions?
I wish more time to collect my thoughts. So I'm going to appoint a committee, to appoint a committee, to appoint a committee. Get to the bottom of this, so that the top will know what to do.
There he is, boys! There's the enemy!
Go a little faster, India. You're going too slow. Go faster. Keep those arms going like you're running, like you're running. Keep your arms moving. And bam!
Run, Henry Williams! Run for it! He got away! He's safe!
Get out there so we can see you see him.
Edward! No! Edward! Mr. President! He was only a boy!
I propose to write a careful essay setting forth my opinion.
Somebody say something! Somebody speak out!
Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the Congress, this unnecessary war was unconstitutionally commenced by the President, who may be telling the truth, but he is not telling the whole truth. He has swept the war on in showers of blood. His mind, taxed beyond its powers, is running about like some tortured creature on a burning surface. Stop the war, Mr. President. For the love of God, stop this war.
I do not know you, Mr. Congressman. And I doubt if the people of Illinois will re-elect you because you refused to go along. But I shall remember you, Congressman Lincoln. Die! No! Die now! No! Die, please! No! 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 Don't die! Not again! Die! Please!
Wake up, Henry. I've got something for you.
I don't want it.
You heard the news?
What news?
You're free to go, Henry. Anytime you want to.
Leave?
During the night, your tax got paid up.
Who did it?
I ain't material for me to say.
Mr. Emerson come and pay?
No, sir.
My mother?
No.
And you?
I offered Henry, but he flat refused. Well, it's been nice you're happy with this, Henry. Here's the receipt.
I don't want it. You can't accuse me of paying my taxes.
It's been paid.
Not by me, it hasn't.
Henry, a man has got no right to stay in jail. There's no charges against him.
Going already?
He's going.
No!
Law put you in here. Law says when you're out.
I ain't never gonna forget this night here. And when I'm out, I'm gonna come visit you, if you don't mind, at your conflict.
Come on, can't hear ya.
I may not be there at the pond place when you get there. It seems I've got several more lives.
Tell us. Tell us.
And I don't know if I can spend any more time in this one.
Sounds to me like it's just about perfect.
That's just it. If I live there forever, if I live there, I might live there forever. And you have to think twice before you accept heaven on terms like that.
Right, Gordon.
fine July day out there.
Sometimes the sun gets so bright that it cuts your eyes out. And it's just darkness all over again. There's more day coming, and the sun is only a morning star.